Following the Apostles' Vision explores the New Testament letters to discover key principles used by the Apostles in multiplying disciples and planting churches to cultivate God's kingdom movement. Even for Paul, the message was simple. Jesus died, but is alive. He has ascended, but is present by His Spirit, and He is coming again. And the vision was clear that there be no place left where this good news had not been shared. Our cities are going up, our suburbs are expanding, our mission challenge is huge. But the simple, reproducible methods that Jesus lived and taught relate to all cultures and all circumstances. His vision and methods shaped the mission of the early church and are practical and effective today. In this second episode, we explore the big movement idea of multiplying households of faith. All New Testament churches were planted in relational streams into the oikos or homes of the early believers. As disciples multiplied, these missional communities or households of faith multiplied.
My name's Eunice and I hail from Papua New Guinea. And I've been living in Australia for 35 years now. But while I was in New Guinea, I met this wonderful man, Peter, and we have 3 children and 9 grandchildren.
Cairns, it's still small enough to still have that country town type environment.
I honestly love this place, I really do, and I'm very comfortable, and I like the laid-back lifestyle. I was very active in the church, and I realised after 3 years that I needed more to life than what I was going through. I was called to do a literature ministry, which means that I went from door to door selling Christian literature. Then I felt a calling to the households of faith. And it's something that I felt very passionate about the more I found out about it. And I just felt that the Lord was leading me in this area. What I mean by households of faith is that we are doing church in the home, and we're inviting friends and neighbours into our home to do church.
I didn't go to church. It wasn't something that was really part of my lifestyle.
My background is Catholic, and then decided to leave the church when I left home and more or less have said no to all religion. Up until I met up with Eunice. She was telling me about her household of faith that she's holding at her home, and it took me a couple of weeks of invites to actually get there, but I'm really glad I did. I brought John along with me, and it was very different to what I expected, and I felt very comfortable in her home and the way that they conducted it. It was nice.
I'm more enjoying finding out the stories. There's a lot of teaching and learning within the stories and the morals. That's what I'm interested in. There's got a lot of good learning there.
8 weeks ago, I had an accident at a friend's place and I fell through her veranda, and I'm off work. We've been going to Eunice's place, the House of Faith, for the last month. I feel like in the last 8 weeks that God's been with me and John and us, the whole family, the whole time. And that's been the strongest it's been in my whole life.
I started looking for God a few years ago. I was searching everywhere for the right church, and then I reached out to Eunice, and then she invited me to the home group church. The first time I'd been to church in over 20 years was coming to Eunice's home. Yeah, it's been amazing. Amazing for my spiritual growth, because I'd lost touch of God completely, and I feel like I've grown so much in like 9 months. But straight away, as soon as I walked in the door, I felt like at home because there was something familiar about it. Someone said to me, you need to let God be your friend. lean on him for support and talk to him like he's a friend. I never thought of it like that. Definitely feel like my relationship with Jesus is growing.
I was introduced to the Households of Faith concept initially through discussion paper that was sent to our church board. And as soon as I saw this, I was so excited. In our Discovery Bible readings, our group found that we were able to have open and honest discussions, ask questions, and try to find the answers from what we were reading. And you didn't have to have a Bible knowledge or spend so many years in the church in order to participate in a discussion. We've been going for a year now. We do understand that it's a movement and it has to multiply. I've identified 2 leaders, natural leaders, who are very keen about having their own households of faith. Rochelle is my niece. She's very responsible, very reliable, and has a real deep passion for the Word of God.
Households of Faith to me at first was a really awesome idea when I first heard about it. I was living on Thursday Island at the time, and that was when COVID hit. And so every time I would come to Cairns, I always would attend the Cairns church. And then when Auntie Eunice had rung me, I was really keen on the idea. I like the concept on the idea of the Households of Faith because it takes you away from the traditional surrounding, I guess, that comes with the church. And that's what I really wanted. I wanted to have connection with people. Yeah, getting deep into the Word. But I also wanted to be able to make friends and really feel like I was part of a family. I'm really looking forward to the next chapter that God's preparing the way for. When I got here, it really hit home that I'm going to be opening my home to a lot of people. I need to just let go of my own ideas of what I think things should be and just allow God to lead every step of the way.
Tom and Paula, they've been church leaders for some time in the church, especially with the young people.
When we first heard about what Eunice is doing at home, she invited us over. From that very moment, that very first time that we walked in there, we felt really good. It's a good atmosphere. And we've been there ever since. In the home church, we get to share our downs, our struggles. It's just down-to-earth relationship, man. It's just so simple. It's a nice feeling, you know? And what we're experiencing with this little group, we've got to share it with others in our own community, in our own neighborhood.
Doing life on your own is too hard today, but doing life with a group who supports you and who prays for you is just wonderful, and that their burdens become your burdens, their victories your victories, and you're in it together.
I'm really looking forward to open my home up to others because I want to be able to see the change in how I want to be a witness to see how Jesus changes people's lives. He's done for me.